Information tonight about the man killed by a Cincinnati police officer this weekend.
This afternoon, a new video was released by the Hamilton County prosecutor. It shows Jawari Porter attacking a woman here at the Horseshoe Casino last year. It's an unprovoked assault. Porter is seen knocking her to the ground before staff members tackled him. Porter was arrested and charged, but later found mentally incompetent to stand trial. He was sent for treatment. We've learned Porter had a long history of mental problems and treatment.
There was no way for the officers to know that when they approached him on Sunday, and it might not have made a difference even if they did. Local 12's Rich Jaffe joins us now with an exclusive look at how those officers are trained. Rich?
Cammie, Jawari Porter was clearly a very troubled individual, but in a flash, he went right after police officer Tony Brucato Sunday morning. The only thing that mattered was the fact that he was armed with a lethal weapon, and Brucato did exactly what he was trained to do: survive. When Cincinnati police officers Tony Brucato and Pat Galligan responded to Kroger on Vine, all they knew was that someone had robbed the store and put a knife to the throat of the security guard. 20 minutes later, they tried to stop that suspect, and Jawari Porter attacked Officer Brucato before he could even get out of the car. According to CPD's training officer, Brucato had no choice. If I get this close to you with an edged weapon and you don't have a place to go, what do you do?
Well, as you're getting that close to me and my gun's out, I'm shooting you. The idea is you don't get that close to me with an edged weapon.
Police who've reviewed the video say as he was coming around the vehicle, Officer Galligan was shouting, "He's got the knife," which is why Brucato drew his weapon. But even that didn't stop the attack.
A knife can kill me. That's a deadly force encounter. So my response to that is my weapon, my gun. That's my response to a deadly force encounter. If it's likely to cause me serious physical harm or death, then I use my firearm.
Brucato fires twice as Porter comes past the edge of his door, but Porter keeps coming and slashing. Jawari Porter's mental health problems go back at least to 2011, when he was first found incompetent to stand trial. In and out of facilities and treatment until this past June 22nd, when the most recent case against him was dismissed. Fred Gilmer is a mental health response team officer.
It's very hard. It's a split-second decision, and sometimes we don't have time. Time helps us to determine whether an individual is mentally challenged or not. And sometimes we don't have that time on our side.
A lot of folks are quick to say the police officer had no other choice. If he hadn't done this, he wouldn't have gone home to his family that night. And I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's that simple. I don't think that there was only one choice.
Josh Spring says Porter's an example of a failed system, one that should have taken better care of him. But like some, he also thinks the police should have found alternatives.
Use your arms, use your hands, use your ability to push somebody.
Against a knife?
To push somebody, yeah, sure.
But that's definitely not the way law enforcement is trained. And Tony Brucato has a lot of training, as does his partner. Every CPD officer goes through mental health response training. And there are some officers like Gilmer who are trained even farther. But again, this was not an MHRT call. It was an armed robbery response. That said, everyone also agrees that better mental health facilities and programs would also help. In the newsroom, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Rob?
It's Cammie, Rich, but thank you. Appreciate it. And a police spokesman tells us that both of the officers involved in the shooting get 7 days off, and that's standard procedure. Depending how their days off fall, that means they will both be back to work sometime next week.